Rugby World Cup 2027. Opening fixtures spark controversy and fan frustration. The announcement of the Rugby World Cup 2027 fixture schedule has stirred immediate controversy, particularly among fans of the Southern Hemisphere heavyweights. Traditionally, the tournament kicks off with a high-profile match featuring the host nation, providing a spectacle to set the tone for the global event. In previous editions, including the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France, tournament organizers followed this approach with a blockbuster opener, France against the All Blacks in Paris. However, organizers of the 2027 tournament have deviated from this tradition. Despite Australia being drawn in the same Pool A as New Zealand, the expected Trans-Tasman Showdown will not mark the tournament's opening weekend. Instead, Australia will host Hong Kong, China, in Perth on October 1st, with a much-anticipated clash between the Wallabies and All Blacks deferred to October 9th in Sydney. This decision has caused an uproar among fans and commentators alike, questioning the logic behind a perceived low-caliber curtain raiser to one of rugby's premier competitions. The All Blacks' playful "dig the scheduling decision" prompted a brief, tongue-in-cheek response from the All Blacks on social media, which has since been deleted. Captioned, "We thought we had the script." The post highlighted the mismatch between expectations and reality. Fans, accustomed to seeing the Wallabies and All Blacks battle it out in opening matches, reacted immediately, using the post as an outlet to vent their frustrations. The deleted post underscored the tension surrounding the tournament start. Social media quickly became a battleground for debate, with fans arguing that the opener should feature the Southern Hemisphere's marquee rivalry, not a fixture against a team making its Rugby World Cup debut. Fan backlash and criticism reactions from fans were swift and scathing. One disappointed supporter wrote, "Horrible opening game. It should have been Australia versus New Zealand. Fumbled the tournament before it even started. Expect record low attendance and viewership. Not a great advertisement for the game at all. Brett Robinson era showing already." Another added, "Perth rugby fans have been deliberately misled. For months, we've been told that round one would be Wallabies and All Blacks at Optus Stadium. We've all interpreted Wallabies and All Blacks to mean Wallabies versus All Blacks." West Australian reporter Ben Smith also weighed in on social media, calling the decision utterly indefensible and lamenting the lost opportunity to deliver a marquee opening fixture in Perth. The economics of the opening game beyond the disappointment of fans. Ticket pricing has compounded the frustration. Category 1 tickets for the Australia versus Hong Kong China match in Perth are set at $635 Australian dollars. The same as a Category A ticket for the Wallabies' much-anticipated clash with New Zealand 8 days later in Sydney. Prices across other categories mirror this equality, with tickets ranging from $65 to $495. The pricing strategy has drawn criticism for failing to reflect the significant disparity in quality between the two opening matches. Supporters and commentators have argued that charging premium rates for a game expected to be heavily one-sided undermines fan engagement and the accessibility of the tournament, that expanding the tournament. 24 teams and a criticized format. Rugby World Cup 2027 is the first edition to feature 24 teams, up from 20 since 2003. The expansion, while providing opportunities for Tier 2 nations, has necessitated adjustments to the pool stage and introduced a round of 16, a format change that has faced criticism from fans, pundits, and former players alike. The expansion and revised format appear to have influenced the scheduling decisions, as organizers attempt to balance competitive integrity with broadcast and commercial considerations. However, the outcome has been a pool stage widely regarded as lacking early drama, with the traditional marquee matches pushed deeper into the tournament. Super Sunday, style over substance, in an attempt to generate excitement. Organizers announced a so-called Super Sunday, during which 5 matches will be played in a single day for the first time in World Cup history. This event is designed to create a climactic conclusion to the pool phase. Yet the fixture list casts doubt on the claimed spectacle. Matches on Super Sunday include Italy versus Georgia, Ireland versus Uruguay, Scotland versus Portugal, France versus Samoa, South Africa versus Romania. While the scheduling demonstrates ambition, The caliber of some matchups raises concerns over competitiveness and fan engagement. Several games feature clear disparities between Tier 1 and Tier 2 nations, increasing the likelihood of one-sided contests rather than close, thrilling encounters. The Wallabies versus All Blacks, a delayed showdown, the most eagerly anticipated pool match. Australia versus New Zealand has been pushed to the second weekend, scheduled for October 9th in Sydney. This timing ensures that the fixture does not open the tournament, disappointing fans who expected a high-stakes curtain raiser. The delay may have strategic intent from the organizers, aiming to build anticipation, maximize viewership, and provide a climatic first weekend of Tier 1 action in later rounds. However, the decision has been widely criticized as a misstep, undermining the spectacle of the tournament's opening weekend and dampening excitement in a rugby-mad nation eager to see the hosts in action. Tier 2 nations and the pool stage, while the opening fixture and Super Sunday have drawn attention. The 2027 Rugby World Cup also presents a platform for Tier 2 nations, who are gaining exposure on rugby's biggest stage. Hong Kong, China, debuting in the tournament, will face Australia in the opening match, an opportunity to test themselves against one of the world's top teams, even in a likely one-sided encounter. Other returning nations include Zimbabwe, last seen in the early editions of the World Cup, and Spain, returning for the first time since 1999. Chile, debuting in 2023, appears for a second consecutive tournament. These teams provide compelling storylines, though the short pool phase limits the likelihood of major upsets or deep runs in the tournament. Fan expectations and the importance of tradition. Rugby fans hold the tradition of host nation opening matches in high regard. The excitement of seeing a competitive, high-profile game on the first weekend is part of what generates momentum for the tournament. By choosing a lower-profile match for the opener, organizers have challenged these expectations, resulting in social media backlash and negative press coverage. The All Blacks' playful social media post, now deleted, exemplifies the tension between fan expectations, player rivalry, and organizational decision-making. It also highlights the global nature of the scrutiny surrounding the Rugby World Cup, where scheduling decisions can provoke widespread discussion that have strategic implications for the Wallabies for Australia. The choice of opening against Hong Kong, China presents a different kind of challenge. While the game may lack competitive tension, it offers an opportunity to ease the squad into tournament play, experiment with combinations, and build momentum ahead of their blockbuster clash with New Zealand. From a coaching perspective, the fixture could serve as a low-pressure environment to refine tactics and acclimatize players to World Cup intensity. Nonetheless, public perception will likely focus on the mismatch, and the Wallabies may face criticism if the game does not meet commercial or fan expectations in terms of spectacle. The All Blacks' prospective New Zealand, meanwhile, will begin their tournament a day later, facing Chile in Perth. This scheduling allows the All Blacks to start with a slightly less pressured fixture before meeting Australia, potentially providing an advantage in preparation and player management. The timing also intensifies the anticipation for the Trans-Tasman clash, potentially boosting global viewership and interest. However, delaying the marquee fixture also risks losing the immediate excitement typically generated by an opening weekend blockbuster, raising questions about whether tradition should have been prioritized. Conclusion: a controversial start. Rugby World Cup 2027 promises excitement, drama, and a showcase of world-class rugby talent. Yet the decision to open the tournament with Australia versus Hong Kong, China, instead of the traditional Trans-Tasman showdown has already sparked debate, highlighting the tension between tradition, marketing, and competitive spectacle. The deleted All Blacks post, fan backlash on social media, and commentary from journalists illustrate the high stakes of scheduling decisions. While the Wallabies versus All Blacks fixture will still deliver a marquee matchup, the delayed timing risks dampening the impact of the tournament opener. For Tier 2 nations like Hong Kong, China, Zimbabwe, and Spain, the expand.